Without further ado, I'd like to introduce Kurt Jackson. Kurt holds an Associate of Applied Science degree in Internet Applications Development. He's a member of the website development team at AbleSpark, where he's worked since 2010 and has more than 10 years of professional experience in the industry. You probably think he's a bit of a geek, but don't be fooled. Kurt is Director of Client Support for AbleSpark and provides interactive training and support for their clients. A real people person, Kurt is also Senior Vice President of Link Annapolis and Link Chesapeake, a local networking group that hosts a large number of business people twice monthly. The consummate networker, he also runs their Zoom meetings and manages the sponsorship aspect of the organization. When he's not at work or networking in the community, Kurt likes to spend time with his family. His wife, Tiffany, is a business owner. Her business, Ally for Pets, helps people to care for their pets in their homes. Kurt loves baseball and the New York Mets. He is proud of their oldest son, Bryce, who is a senior at Frostburg State University and plays first base for the baseball team. His younger son, Cameron, is enrolled in the Performing and Visual Arts program and is studying acting at Annapolis High School. Cameron is a real standout in improv. Mom and Dad are his biggest fans. And just a heads up, when it comes to baseball, Kurt loves the National League. If you ask him why, he'll reply that the American League doesn't play by the real rules of the game. He'll tell you that baseball, at its very core, is a defensive sport, so the DH has no place in the game. You've been warned. So with that being said, I'm going to turn it over to Kurt.
Thank you, Christy. First off, I'd like to give a shout out to Kat, because if you ever need a good bio written, send Kat some information in a really ugly format and she can turn it into something that Christy just shared. So, okay. So the first thing I'd like to do today, because I am very new to the Central Maryland Chamber and there are a lot of you on here that I don't know. So first off, we are recording the event so that we can share it on the website. And also everybody that registered, I believe we're going to send it out with the chat transcript. So anyway, so I want to do quick introductions, and by quick, I'm talking like name, company name, title, and a brief sentence about what you do. So, you know, if we can keep it to like 10 seconds or less so that we can just roll through this. Also, if you're going to turn on your video while you're speaking, please turn on your video now, because that'll prevent the names from jumping all over the screen as people turn on and off their videos. So if you can turn them on and leave them on just while we're doing the introductions, that would be great. So I'm gonna go first to give you an idea of how I want this done, and then I'll just go around the room. So Kurt Jackson, Director of Client Support for AbleSpark. We are a website and software development company. Kim?
Good morning, I'm Kim Rao, and I'm the clerk to the City Council for the City of Laurel.
Kim Wirt?
Good morning, Kim Wirt, Director of Operations for the Central Maryland Chamber.
Bob Hennig?
Good morning, I'm Bob Hennig, owner of Bob's BMW Motorcycles. We bring more fun into everyone's life, and right now motorcycling is the perfect social distancing adventure.
Linda Crow?
Hi, Linda Crow from Printing Specialist Corporation. All your printing needs, ink on paper.
Kat Harvey?
Hi there, Kat Harvey, Copycat, and I'm a copywriter and a content creator.
Jure?
Good morning, I'm Jure Slocum, Business Development Manager with Severn Bank.
Sarah Taylor?
Good morning, I'm Sarah Taylor, Project Manager at the Chesapeake Think Tank. We are a full-service business advisory company for small businesses.
Waits?
Hi, I'm Michelle Waits. I'm the Communications Manager for AJ Properties, a commercial real estate leasing and development company.
Michael?
Hi, I'm Michael Carrico. I'm president and founder of AbleSpark. We are a creative website and software development firm that specializes in igniting the power of the web for small businesses.
Laura Rice?
Laura Rice, Crux Organizing. We focus on systems, process, and structure to give our clients more time in their schedules. Crux Organizing.
Barry Colton?
Hey, good morning. I'm Barry with Melaleuca, North America's #1 online wellness company. All my information's in the chat, so contact me, #Melaman.
Karen?
Sharon Wanamaker, Exotic Pet Pals, a professional pet sitting and dog walking company that specializes in exotic pets.
Karen?
Hi, I'm Karen Chambari from Salt on Main. We're Prince George's County's first dry salt therapy wellness center. We offer dry salt therapy, ion cleanses, and several other things.
Anita?
Buddy, Anita Dooling. I'm with Anne Arundel Economic Development, and I am on the business development team, and we support any local businesses in the county.
Buddy?
Hi, I'm Buddy Potner with Offit Kerman. We're a business law firm. I'm a principal there.
George?
Here I am, George Faber, the Health Insurance Networker. Good morning, everybody. It's like Lincolnapolis never ended. And it's good to be here. Health insurance solutions for you.
Alex?
Sunrise Solutions, Alex McKaig. I'm the sales manager. We help people communicate. We do that through use of business telephone systems, network, video conferencing, any which way people need to talk, we get them there. Alex McKaig, Sunrise Solutions.
Beth?
Hi, good morning, everybody. Beth Hayden, Commercial Insurance Managers, Vice President, Employee Benefits. My side of the business is health, life, disability, group insurance, and some individual. I live and breathe this stuff 24/7, 7 days a week, of course. Thank you.
Anna?
Good morning. My name is Hannah Creekmore. I do the marketing and advertising at Bob's BMW Motorcycles.
Amy?
Hi, good morning. I'm Amy Lazis. I'm the owner of a small law firm here in Columbia, Maryland, specializing in estates and trust law. And I do free webinars. My website is providencelg.com. We have one tomorrow morning if you're able to join.
Jean?
Good morning. I'm Jeannie Reekin, branch manager at Severn Bank. And we specialize, we're located right in Annapolis, so we specialize in businesses mainly. That's my job, to keep my business customers happy and to attract new ones. I'm sorry I'm late. Thanks.
Andy?
Good morning, everyone. Andy Morsberger, General Manager, Minuteman Press, Crofton, Canton, Federal Hill. We are your one-stop commercial print shop, helping you tell your story through all manner of tangible, personalized products.
And R. Hyatt? Christy or Kim, do you know who that is?
I do. It's Ruth Ann Hyatt, and she is with the Laurel Police Department. She is new to Zoom, so she might not know how to access the camera or the microphone.
Okay, cool. Well, that's part of why we're here. Did I miss anybody? Cool. Okay. Sorry?
I thought I saw at least one face in my scroll through that didn't get announced. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay. I'll leave it at my error, but I think we're missing
Okay. I think I got everybody. Okay. So once again, if you put your contact info in chat, Christy and Kim will share that after the event. So what I am going to do now is I am going to go ahead and share my screen. And y'all will notice that I have actually a special Zoom setting set up right now where sharing my screen, you all get to see you all. So I did that for a reason, because there are several things in Zoom that I want you to actually be able to see as I'm sharing it. So, and you'll also notice that I have two monitors. So right now your videos are on that monitor. So if you see me looking that way, that's because I'm trying to look at you. But anyway, so right now what you're looking at is, if you log into Zoom on the website, you will see all the different settings that you can have for Zoom. This very first setting is the waiting room, and that is especially helpful if you are sharing your events on social media and stuff like that. That way, when people join the event, you know, you actually get to see who's coming into the event before they actually get there, and that helps keep out any potential unwanted guests and stuff like that. With the Lincolnapolis and Link Chesapeake events we run, we always use the waiting room. So with this event, I opted not to. I also typically require a passcode when I'm scheduling new meetings. I actually have an automatic scheduler that does the passcode, which is why this setting's turned off in here. Personal meeting ID, I would recommend against using that for regular meetings. The biggest issue with the personal meeting ID is once somebody has it, they can always access your personal meetings. So if you happen to use that personal meeting ID all the time, you may wind up with unexpected guests and visitors in your meetings. Also, the same with embedding the passcode. If you're going to embed the passcode in the link for one-click join, there's no reason to have a passcode. You know, the point of having the passcode is to make people have to enter it. So I would also use the passcode for phone. Those I always have off. I always start all meetings with the videos off and the microphones on mute. The reason for this is Zoom can sometimes take a little bit for people to load. So, you know, you don't want unexpected stuff popping up on the videos or to catch some background conversations that people may be having as they're logging on, you know, so it's just a best practice to always have it on mute. Join before host. This one is totally up to you. The way I have my Zoom meetings set up, if somebody joins before me, it sends me an email saying that they're there waiting for me. So that way, you know, I can just go and open up the meeting and, you know, everything starts. But typically speaking, I'm in the meeting before they are anyway. So doesn't really matter. Personal meeting ID stuff. Here's the mute participants on entry. That's one thing I always recommend doing. You can do upcoming reminders. Chat, I always allow participants to save chat. Again, you know, in the link events and in this event, I'm constantly asking people to share their contact info. So some people want that info right away. So if they save the chat, then that's great. And, you know, sometimes in networking, people want to say something private to somebody. So I let them do their private chat stuff. Auto-saving chats is always a great feature to have set up because then you don't have to remember to save the chat when you're running a meeting. It'll just automatically do it for you. Normally I have that set to host and co-host only, so I don't know when that changed. You can have people record their voice. I don't find that necessary. File transfer, again, that's up to you. I always have people send feedback to Zoom. Let Zoom know that they're doing a good job or things that they can improve on or anything else. Polling we'll get to in a little bit. Meeting control toolbar is a great thing. That would be this thing that shows up when you actually start sharing your screen and everything, which gives you control to a lot of things that you may need while you're running a Zoom meeting. This setting right here, the show Zoom windows during screen share, this is the special setting that I just turned on for this meeting. So I will be turning that off after this meeting, but wanted you guys to be able to see my Zoom stuff. Screen sharing, always set this to host only to start with. You can change the settings once you go into a meeting so that all participants can join. And actually, I'm going to segue to that real quick. If you look down at your screen share button down here, you've actually got an up arrow and you can go to advanced sharing options. And right here is where you can change it so that all participants can share. But this way, you know, again, you don't get any unexpected sharing or people doing stuff that you're not expecting them to do. I don't know what that is. It's off. So that may be an override setting so that you can never let them share. Annotation tools are cool for screen sharing. Whiteboard is cool for screen sharing. Remote control, I have this on because there's times when I'm doing stuff with different clients and stuff like that where I actually need to be able to control their screen. Or I may be doing something where I need them to enter a password onto my screen or something like that. So it's nice to have. Meeting reactions, these are the little things that go over, you know, so you know people are listening. You know, even when their video's off, you know, if you say something nice about somebody, like I can tell Andy he's, you know, a great printer and all of that kind of stuff. And then hopefully, you know he's listening because he'll give us a thumbs up or something like that kind of a thing. So I also allow participants to rename themselves, you know, because it's really nice to know who you're talking to when you're on a Zoom meeting. So reporting this is, again, if bad people join your rooms or whatever. Breakout rooms, we're going to be going over these today, so that's why we have this setting on here. This is really cool. The rest of this stuff, you know, don't really use. Here's your virtual backgrounds, where you can allow people to use virtual backgrounds and that kind of stuff. The video filters, those are actually kind of fun, and we'll get into them in a little bit. These are the advanced options, so there's not much. Data centers, this is your choice. With the recent events, you know, some people have an issue with China and Hong Kong and Singapore, so I just don't use those. People can join Zoom meetings from their browsers. I don't do live streaming of meetings, but I guess I could. And we can request people to unmute and stuff like that. So then these are different email notifications that you can get. You know, again, it's a lot of these are just a matter of personal preference and what you want to do. The one thing I forgot is in the breakout room section. I thought, and they change this with every update. There used to be a way to customize the breakout rooms, but apparently they've changed it.
Is it underneath that where it said allow to modify earlier, Kurt? Scroll down just a little bit.
Allow hosts to do stuff. Oh, not breakout rooms. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, people.
Talk around it.
Waiting rooms. That's what it was. There we go. Here we go. So you can customize your waiting room. And so it's always going to show the meeting ID, but you can edit this text that comes up. Then it's going to show your meeting topic, but you can also edit the logo that comes up. And you can actually edit a full description. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that this is a general setting. So this is what it's going, like if you use your meeting room all the time, this is going to be what your meeting room, your waiting room shows up as. So, okay. So that's enough of the settings. Next thing I want to do is I want to cover the breakout rooms, because the breakout rooms are a lot of fun. I believe that all chats will be saved, Sharon, as long as you're logged in with your account. When you close out of a meeting, whether it's your meeting or somebody else's meeting, it should automatically save the chat for you. So, okay, so breakout rooms. So when we go into an event, and this is the way I run all my link events, so you'll kind of get a feel for those. So, you know, if you're ever free on a Tuesday evening and you want to come network with a bunch of people, feel free to join us. So what I'm going to do for this one is I'm going to keep it short, and so I want to limit the number of people that go in. So by creating 10 rooms, that'll put 2 to 3 people in a room. Actually, let's do 3 people in a room. There we go. So we'll have 3 to 4 people in a room, and we create the rooms. So now you can see that Zoom automatically shuffles and plans on how it's going to break up these rooms, okay? So then when you create the rooms, you've got this options button here, and if you move all participants into the rooms automatically, that means that once I open the rooms, it'll send everybody in. They don't have to do anything, okay? But I believe in allowing to give people their choice, so I don't automatically move people in. I also believe that, you know, when you're in a breakout room, if something's not going right or whatever, you should be able to come back to the main room. Okay. So that's why I have that checked. This is really cool because this will actually pop up a timer in the breakout rooms. And you can actually look at that timer the entire time. And I'm going to pop into each breakout room. So I want to give it 10 minutes because that'll give me about a minute a room to break in and disrupt your networking. So I can get a special notification when the time's up. I really don't need it. And then we set a countdown timer so that once the 10 minutes expires, you'll get a message that actually pops up on your screen and says, okay, you've got 30 seconds left. So I'm giving you all the secrets behind the curtain. So, you know, if y'all run any events, you can do them as well as I do. So, so right now I'm going to open all the rooms. Please do not accept the invite yet, because there's actually one other thing I want to show you real quick first. So when I open the rooms, you'll see, you know, it'll now tell me who's joined what room. I can also move participants around to different rooms. The other cool thing is I can send a broadcast message to everybody. And basically, I can just type a message and hit broadcast, and then that will show up in every one of the breakout rooms, which will be gone by the time you all get in there. So anyway, feel free to accept your breakout rooms now, and I will be popping in and saying hi to everybody there.
Well, that was fun.
I hope you all had a good time with that. Unfortunately, I didn't make it to room 8. So I'm sorry, Buddy and Linda. I will try to catch you up next time because I'm planning on doing one more round of breakout rooms. So, okay. Does anybody have any questions about breakout rooms? Okay. I really shouldn't be doing this on that screen. Okay.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Do you have a recommended amount of time for breakout rooms?
It depends on what you're trying to accomplish, really. With my link events, I do 4 to 6 people in rooms for 13 minutes because what we're trying to accomplish in the link events is a brief introduction and then, you know, asking questions. So it's not really speed networking, but it's kind of speed networking. But we want you to have a little extra time to be able to have conversations with people, you know. So if you're really doing a true speed networking, then give a minute per person, you know. Like I said, I do 5 to 6 people and I do 13 minutes. It enables me to get through 5 rounds in an hour and a half. So, you know, you still get to meet a lot of people and, you know, that kind of thing. Some people will actually preset their breakout rooms. And then for the purposes of doing like different segmented talks or something like that kind of a thing. So in those cases, you know, where you're not really networking, but it's more of a talk kind of a thing, you might want to give like a half hour per room, you know.
Yeah, Kurt,
So.
We actually have an upcoming event at Bob's where we're going to have a series of speakers, and the breakout room is a new feature to me. So it was helpful because, Bob, we kind of have another option now. Instead of setting up speakers, you know, someone speaks at 10, the next person at 11, we could everyone speaks at 10 and we just break them out in rooms. I'm not saying that's for sure what we would do, but that's another option we have now.
The big thing to be careful of with that is the assigning of people to rooms.
Okay.
Because only the host has control to assign people to rooms. Okay. And to move people around rooms and all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So if you're looking at having 100 people, you're going to spend a while trying to assign people to specific rooms and all of that kind of stuff. So
yeah, that would get, yeah.
Yeah, I can jump in here real quick. We've actually used Zoom for virtual scout meetings, and they have to be broken up by patrol. And my job for the first couple of meetings was to sit there, and once everybody got in there, to drag and drop them and move them around the rooms. And it took 15, 20 minutes to get everybody assigned just so we could start the meeting. So just yes, be leery of that. Be warned of that.
And
Michael,
15, 20 minutes, you had how many scouts?
Probably, I'd say 30 scouts.
So Michael and Kurt, a quick question since Hannah raised the topic, and the core of it I like. I see where the problems are for a general event, but over the coming winter, we will do some technical events where we could actually have people sign up for an area of interest in advance. So if we knew that somebody wanted to pay attention to carburetor rebuilding and someone wanted to pay attention to transmission rebuilding, we would know who's going into those breakout rooms beforehand, correct?
Correct. And there is, through the Zoom settings, you can actually pre-assign people to breakout rooms. So that way you wouldn't have to worry about it during the event.
You might even have a guest like Paul Rubinson or Dave Larrabee at the museum. We could be looking at 3 different motorcycles for 3 different people.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Okay. Next on my list is polls. Polls are actually fairly simple to do. You just open the poll window, and then you can edit the poll or add a question. And if you add a question, where'd it go? It takes you here, and you can give the poll a title. And obviously, I like to hold my shift key a little bit too much.
Thank you for fixing that, Kurt. Appreciate you.
Not a problem. And polling questions you can do in advance of meetings.
Kurt, can you show again where you went to get to the poll question?
Sure, right here on the bottom of my screen. You see where it says polls?
No, why don't I see it?
Am I sharing my screen? Because I'm not sharing my screen. Okay, can you see everybody now?
Yes.
Okay, so down here on the bottom of the screen is polls. So if you click that, it gives you the pop-up window.
Okay.
Okay, and you can go to edit, and it'll open your browser window. And you can also, so when you open your browser window, okay, this is where you can add poll questions and add a poll and all of that kind of stuff.
So when you add a poll, it actually takes you to your Zoom settings online. It doesn't do it right within the Zoom app, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
And Kurt, is that only on the host screen? Because we don't see it on our personal screen.
Yes.
Okay, great.
However, you will, on your personal screens, you will get something that will pop up now in just a minute, because I am going to launch the poll so that now everybody can answer the poll, please.
Yeah, the other thing, Kurt, that is you have to go in and push the polls button, just like you had to push the breakout rooms button in your settings in order to get it to show up to begin with.
Okay.
Right.
And additionally, it is not available in the free version. It is only available in a paid version.
To answer the poll or to
enable a poll.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, I have the paid version and I've never seen that option at the bottom.
So
you have to turn it on in your settings first.
I got it. Got it. Sorry.
It's the same thing with breakout rooms. You have to turn breakout rooms on in your settings through the web first.
Got it.
Before you actually get it in the app.
Kurt, can I just share a little bit about kind of like setting polls up ahead of time, or were you going to cover that?
You can share.
Okay. So one of the cool things is you can set up meeting templates. So if you have like a program that you do multiple times and you just want to copy that template, you can set up the poll questions in there, and then every single time you go to do that program, you don't have to reset the poll. So like I, for instance, do my, time management for virtual meetings, and anytime I'm doing that, I just duplicate the meeting template when I'm setting it up. And all the polls are in there exactly when they need to be. So that's a heads up. It doesn't have to be like, in the moment.
Cool. Okay. So Kim and Christy, you have 7 people that are not members on this call. Any other questions about polling? No, Kim, the polling does not have to be anonymous.
Okay.
You can, there's actually a checkbox that you can check that asks you if you want to make it anonymous or not.
Okay, I was considering this might be a way for us to do a roll call. If I assign it to the mayor and council members individually, and then we could just do a poll as a vote. So you think that would work? Okay.
Oh yeah.
Thank you.
Yep. No, co-host cannot do breakout rooms, and I do not believe co-host can launch polls. Kim and Christy, do you see polls right now? Can you launch a poll?
I do see polls.
If you click it, what does it tell you?
I can only see your screen, so maybe I can't initiate one.
Okay.
It does show it at the bottom though.
Yeah, no, I can't launch a new poll.
Okay. So yeah, no, breakout rooms and polls are hosts only. And I've been really bad about going through this chat.
Can you have more than one host, or it has to be a co-host?
It has to be a co-host.
Co-hosts are limited, but they're very, very helpful in that they can watch the waiting room. Like for Lincolnapolis, I'll watch the waiting room and let people in. If somebody forgets to mute, you can mute them. If the host is busy looking up stuff like they are right now, you can help. There's some other things that co-hosts can do, but it's not as extensive as the actual host. The one thing that's good to know is that if you have to leave a meeting, you can assign the host to somebody else. I know in the scouting arena, we've had to do that where I've had to leave and we've had to make one of the assistant scoutmasters the host. I just assign them the host and then they continue to run the meeting.
So
you assign the host to the co-host basically, so that they could run the polls, they could do all that kind of stuff, and the person who is speaking could then just be a co-host.
Yes. Yes. That's the trick, and that's what matters.
Yeah.
Is the actual host of a meeting doesn't have to be who Zoom has as the host of the meeting.
Mm-hmm.
For example, in this case, Kim and Christy with the Central Maryland Chamber are actually the hosts of this meeting, but I'm the host as far as Zoom is concerned, because that way I can do all my little tips and tricks and
yeah,
show
you should think
kind of
about
stuff.
them as the organizers of the meeting versus the administrative person that's running the technical aspects of the meeting. The technical aspects of the meeting is the quote host, and then the organizer can be anybody. They can be a co-host, they can be another participant, it can be anybody.
Can you show us in settings where you assign the co-hosts?
Actually, you don't do that in settings. Most of the only way to assign co-hosts in the settings is if they are the same part of your organization.
Okay.
The easiest thing to do, honestly, though, is, if you hover over somebody's picture, you can see that I can ask Michael to unmute, or I've got 3 dots right here. If I click on those 3 dots, then I get a whole list of options. Okay. So I could make Michael the host. I could make him a co-host. I can turn off his video. So I can do, all kinds of things. I can ask him to start his video back, you know. So those 3 dots are very helpful. You can also, you know, if somebody's on a cell phone or something like that and you don't know who they are, you know, you can actually click on those 3 dots and you can rename them, you know, because sometimes when you're on your cell phone, you can't rename yourself. So you can rename people for them. The other option, because they like to give you lots of ways to do stuff, is you can actually pull up the participant list. And when you hover over people, I can ask to unmute. I can mute everybody. I can invite people. I can make them a host here, withdraw co-host permission because it's Christy.
Hey, Kurt, can you pull down the poll because it's blocking the participant list that you're trying to show us on?
That poll would be on your screen, Barry.
Oh, okay, cool.
I hope.
Yep.
Okay. So anyway, you can make people co-host and all of that from here. There's also 3 dots here, and these are really cool because I can enable the waiting room in the middle of a meeting. You know, I can lock the meeting, which means if you lock the meeting, that means nobody else can join the meeting. Okay. Not something I would want to do in a networking case, but there are business uses for, you know, not allowing people to join a meeting. So, you know, the enable waiting room is almost like locking the meeting because they would go into the waiting room and then you can determine when you let them in, you know, and all hosts and co-hosts do have access to the waiting room. So, any questions about those kind of things? Okay. 2 more things I want to cover. Oh, to Michael's point, when you end the meeting here, if I decide to leave the meeting, it's going to ask me who I want to assign as a host. Okay. And I can search or whatever, or I can just cancel. Okay.
Hey, Kurt,
so,
I got a quick question. Can co-hosts go into breakout rooms and help facilitate discussion?
Yes. Co-host, when you randomly assign breakout rooms though, co-hosts get assigned to the breakout rooms. The host is the only one that does not get assigned to a breakout room.
Okay, so so the co-host would already be in a breakout room, randomly assigned, or if you move them.
Correct.
But they don't have the ability to get out of the breakout room and then go into another breakout room to help.
They can come out of a breakout room and then the host can assign them to another breakout room.
Okay, but the host has to do that. Okay.
Correct. Yep. The other thing you can do is if you don't automatically send people to breakout rooms, is you can ask all your co-hosts to hang back, okay, and not actually go into the breakout room. And then once everybody goes into the breakout rooms, you can assign your hosts, your co-hosts, to where you want them to go.
Okay, that sounds
okay. And I've got 6 minutes left. Okay. So this is one of the key things that I really wanted to show everybody today. This is switch to phone audio. So the really cool thing about this is that if you have somebody who's having problems with their speaker and their microphone on their computer, and they wind up calling into the meeting because they have 2 different, you know, they wind up with the 2 different blocks. Okay. If you're trying to do a networking meeting where you're managing breakout rooms, that is always a real problem. So if you have them go to this, you can actually have them dial in 301-715-8592, call. And when you do this, you get the little prompt, and you put in the meeting ID, 3693-5463, pound. And then you put in your participant ID. Now, when I hit the pound sign, everybody watch your ears for a minute because there's going to be a brief moment of feedback. Sorry.
You are in the meeting now. There are more than 20 participants in the meeting.
Okay. So now I have you all on my phone. I am no longer using my computer audio. But you will notice that on my phone, I still only have one window in the Zoom meeting.
And
Okay.
Kurt, can you show how you got there, or is that something we can show someone if we're facilitating?
Is my screen still being shared, I hope?
Yes, it is. I just didn't catch.
Okay. Okay. Yes. So right here, no, hold up. Here's the other thing though. I can't, while I'm on phone audio, I can't get to my computer audio.
I got you.
Okay.
So, but you would go down
Hold
to
on.
where your microphone is?
Yeah, hold on just a second, Alex. Because once I hang up my phone,
it automatically brings me back to computer audio.
Got it.
Okay. So, but to get there, it's this button right next to mute.
Yeah, I see it.
And then there's switch to phone audio.
Got it.
Okay.
Got it. Thank you.
That is like great if you're ever doing these networking events and you've got, because when you do breakout rooms and they randomly assign, you've got to watch that person with their cell phone because you got to make sure they wind up in the same breakout room. You know, so that's switching to phone audio is wonderful.
I have somebody on a weekly call that has to watch on his computer and then load it on his cell phone at the same time. So this will help. Very good. Thanks.
Yep.
Just to confirm, Kirk, that the person that needs to do that is the one that would go to those settings, not the host.
Correct.
Okay. You were just doing it to show.
This is correct. This is for the attendees. Anybody in any Zoom meeting can do this, but nobody knows about it.
And then they won't be using those two screens, which is what we see. We see their phone on one and we see the face on the other.
Correct. Correct. If they actually switch to phone audio, you will only see one screen.
Perfect. I've got the guy to train on that.
Okay. Okay.
Hey, Kurt, how do you put a picture? Let's say you have to disconnect your audio to step away for a second. How do you put that picture on there?
That is actually done through your Zoom settings. I can go back to Zoom and my settings and my profile, and there's your picture.
Got it.
As long as you're signed in to your Zoom account prior to signing into someone else's program, you will have like your name will pop up correctly, your picture will pop up correctly. If you're not signed into Zoom, you will miss out on those things that kind of transfer over.
So the last thing I wanted to show people real quickly is the virtual backgrounds. So hopefully you are all still seeing my screen. This is where all your virtual backgrounds are. Okay. Now, some of you may have older computers, and if you have an older computer, this I have a green screen button will be checked, and you can't uncheck it. So if you can't uncheck the green screen button, you have two choices. One, don't use a virtual background. Two, get a green screen. Otherwise, it really doesn't show up well, even if you have the Chesapeake Bay Bridge. Okay. So if you have a newer computer and that box is checked and your video is not showing well, uncheck it, your video will show much better. Okay. Mirroring my video, that's just so that when you raise your right hand, you know it's your right hand and not your left hand. So, you know, that's personal preference stuff. You can create your own backgrounds, and there's a little plus button right here where you can add images. You can even add a video. If you're doing networking, I would highly recommend against adding a video. You don't want something so distracting that all people are focusing on is your background. Okay. You will notice that most of my backgrounds are nice and plain and simple. I can even advertise my wife's business if I wanted to. Or I can show you absolutely everything that we do here at AbleSpark.
Hey, Kurt.
Yes.
One of the other things that you have to watch with Mirror My Video is like you have a lot of backgrounds that have, for example, the AbleSpark logo on them. If you don't have Mirror My Video set correctly, it will appear backwards. And I don't remember which setting it is, but I know when I do mine, my left hand's on my right and my right hand's on my left when I'm looking at myself in the screen. But it's the text is correct.
We're looking at a reverse image now.
Right.
So the other newest thing to Zoom.
He's looking at a reverse image now because we're
Yes.
seeing what he sees. But if you look on the screen, you see that it's correct.
But you'll see that I always see a reverse image of myself. And so my bet is that Laura Rice is seeing a reverse image of herself, but on my screen, she's actually forward. No?
No, Laura is correct and you're backwards.
Okay.
Yes.
If you're looking at my screen, yes. But if you're looking at your own screens.
So I look at mine and I see it the way that everyone else sees it.
Right. And
Okay.
we're seeing Laura's so that we can read it where yours is truly
So
backwards.
I have Mirror My Video unchecked. So if you have it checked, basically it's the same way, like if you were to hold something up to the mirror, obviously you can't see that because of my background, but if you were holding something up to the mirror, right, it would be backwards. So if you take and unclick Mirror My Video, it will look correct to you. So yep, unclick that. Yep, perfect.
So last thing I wanted to show you is these new video filters. You have to have the most recent version of Zoom, but you can go on the stage. You can be on the TV. Or my all-time favorite one is you can be a mass bandit. Again, professional networking meetings, maybe not the best thing for you to use, but they're there, they're toys. If you Zoom with your friends and family, feel free to have fun. So, any other questions?
Yes. So in introducing other content you've already got set aside in a presentation, where do you do that?
Share screen?
Yes.
And whatever you have open are the different things that'll show up.
Okay, so it needs to be open already before you go into the meeting.
Unless you're sharing the entire screen.
Gotcha. So if you had
So
an image or a graph or a chart.
Yep. I have two monitors. So screen one, I'm going to shut some stuff down real quick.
While you're doing that, Kurt, it's critical if you're using PowerPoint or something on the internet that you click that lower left hand that says share computer sound so that the other people can hear it. I learned the hard way.
Yep. So if I share screen one now, you can see the Zoom toolbar and how messy my desktop is, but screen one's where I get all of my notifications and everything. So I never share screen one. I always share screen two because screen two is a nice clean screen. There's no menu bar on it. I don't get any notifications that pop up on this window, and all of that. So that's why I share the screen, because then I know that anytime I open something, if I want the people I'm talking to and doing Zoom with to see it, I just have to move it to this screen and they can see it. I've run into problems with a lot of people where they will only share like a single program, or they'll share a single web browser window, and then they'll open a new tab and it goes away. So if you share the screen, then, if you have two monitors, it's a lot easier to do. If you have a single monitor, you're probably better just sharing the single program, because you don't want all of the notifications that pop up on your computer and everything else to be seen by everybody. you know, if you're dealing with client information at all, it would be really bad if somebody saw a client email come in that's, you know, something they shouldn't see or whatever. So.
And a last question on this, if I may. I know we're running down to the last seconds. If we wanted to introduce video, live video of we're showing off a motorcycle to somebody, and we want to have the main screen that we're on now up, do we do that with a cell phone and just add that as a participant and add their view?
Not sure I understand the
Wanted
question.
to walk you through the showroom as an example.
Okay, but you still want them to see your face?
Yes, well,
like with your web camera?
We might have 6 people that wanted to take a look around the showroom, a virtual tour. So we're going to have the hosted meeting like we're all hosting now, but could we introduce a roving member whose cell phone video feed is showing those people what they want to see?
Yes, as long as you go to the advanced sharing options and allow all participants to share,
okay,
then that roving person would be able to share their screen or, you know, use their phone camera as their video. You know, if they're using their phone camera as their video and that's really what you want people to focus on, you may want to direct everybody to come up here and click on speaker view.
Okay, makes sense.
And then just make sure that that cell phone is talking, because as long as that cell phone is talking, you know, or has noise going on, that will show up as the main one.
Okay.
But see, if Michael starts talking now.
Oh, I'm going to start talking now. Hey, there I am.
Michael becomes the big view.
Now, so
Kurt, could you mute everyone else?
Yes.
Yep.
And then that wouldn't create that issue. You would just have to have everybody else muted.
Exactly.
Is there a way to pin a speaker video? I thought I saw an option for that, but I have never tried to do that.
Yes.
So now no matter what happens, I'm the talker. So now, to Bob's point, if you have a roving cell phone, I know on Zoom it uses your front or back camera, whatever you use, you can pin the person in the showroom, and whatever, it's like FaceTime or video chatting otherwise, whatever they see, you would see on Zoom. If they're looking at them, if they're doing a selfie of themselves, you would see that. If they're looking at the showroom through the other camera, you would see that. You can pin the video just like this and do exactly what you want to, Bob.
So Laura, talk just so that we can, sorry, go ahead.
Each participant would have to pin the video, correct?
Yes.
That's what we're double checking. So I just pinned mine. You were saying Laura talk. So I just pinned mine. So I'm seeing Michael small, and then I'm filling up my entire space right now.
Right.
As I pinned that video. So that might be something that's a little bit harder.
Oh, when you pinned, was not everybody seeing me big?
I don't think so.
No. Everybody was seeing you big because I'm sharing my screen.
Okay.
When I pin, I'm the only one who sees you big.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I misunderstood how that worked. Okay.
Yes. But, you know, it's very easy when you're in a meeting with someone to tell them to, you know, go to the picture of the showroom, click on the 3 dots and say pin video.
Yeah.
You know, and then everybody can pin it.
And where are those 3 dots on the big view? Is it only under speaker view or main view?
No, the 3 dots should be on any view. When you hover over, when you hover over people's pictures, you always get the 3 dots.
Yep, I see it. Okay.
Okay. And you can pin the video.
Oh, so like I can pin Laura, and then I see Laura, and your screen is to the side. Okay. And this is why Kurt does this and I don't. Thank you, Kurt.
But it's fun. I recommend folks just play around, like get on with a friend and, you know, test things out, see what happens. That's pretty much how I learned everything that I know.
So we are a little bit over. We were supposed to end at 11 and it's 10 after, so I thank you all for hanging out with me. Do we have any other last minute questions?
Great job as always, Kurt.
Thank you, Barry.
Yes, thank you, Kurt. Just in closing, thanks again to Kurt. The chamber staff will be sending out the chat so you can all stay in touch with each other. We'll also include a link to today's recording. So if you want to go back and rewatch, you're welcome to do so. Also, stay tuned for some of our upcoming events. We're having the Anne Arundel County Health Officer on soon to talk about COVID and business reopening. We're going to be having a LinkedIn marketing session and all kinds of great stuff coming soon. So thank you all for joining us, and we hope to see you soon.